Special Advisor to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on Information and Strategies, Mr. Bayo Onanuga, has stated that the 5.4 trillion naira saved from fuel subsidy removal in 2024 has been directed by the president towards infrastructural development and all of that. And questions have arisen, from that statement, which is actually coming up in response to Atiku Abubakar's claim asking President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to account for monies that are being generated and being saved in quote by his administration. Well, you know that Mr. Bayo Onanuga and Alhaji Atiku Abubakar has been at it for quite some time now. And then, in his last paper, he actually titled that it is time for Atiku Abubakar to end his illusions and all of that. But then I'd like to point out one or two things, because he said that what part of the money has been directed to is for infrastructures, and one of them is the refineries. Like I had somebody say over the radio this morning, it was a comment by a listener who said that it is a shame on Nigeria that we are finding it difficult to put one refinery in place, working. And, even the one that a private individual, an entrepreneur, is putting in place, where he's being frustrated by policies and all of that. But then, I'm continuing to wonder, what has really happened. Some people say that, oh yes, that's good that 5.4 trillion naira has been saved from the removal of fuel subsidy. But the question remains that if we are saving 5.4 trillion naira from if we have saved that from the removal of fuel subsidy, then why are we still borrowing heavily? Why is Nigeria still indebted heavily? Why are we borrowing? No, I know that there have been debts. There has always been debt. Except I think the last time we were free from debt was when President Obasanjo was in office, when he helped us to get a debt waiver at that time, when all our debts were being written off. However, ever since then, in fact, since 2015 to be precise, there have been so much more borrowing and borrowing and borrowing and borrowing. Nigeria as a nation being neck deep in borrowed money, in debt. And so if we have been able to save 5.4 trillion naira, I mean, there has been increments of the price of fuel, severally in the last few months. The price of fuel has not been stable. It has been on the increase in the last few months. I feel the least that fuel is being sold now in Nigeria is 1,025 naira, which is, by the average NNPCL, mega stations. And so if we have been saving so amount of money, how come we are still in debt? How come we do not have the infrastructures? Because when you say you are directing it into infrastructures, it is a shame that even in Nigeria today, politicians still come up to say that we will give you light, we will give you water, we will give you road. Can you imagine that in this age and time, what we are still being bamboozled, what we are still being told, what we are still being fed with are the same things that have been promised, by several administrations away. Promised by several administrations, promised and promised and promised and promises. But what do we keep seeing? It doesn't happen. Well, I listened to former Vice President Yemi Osinbajo. Corruption has been, like he said, corruption has been a major issue in hindering our development as a nation and as a continent. And you want to ask why it has been on the increase and it has not been curbed, or it has not been able to, we've not been able to put it or bring it to its barest minimum. The problem is that there has been no consequences for people who commit those crimes. No consequences. If there have been consequences, then they will not be doing it. I tell you, if you say there's a law that says that if you embezzle this, it's going to be firing squad straight away, it won't be done. People will run away from even public office. I think enough of this deceiving ourselves. That in a nation where everybody is crying of hardship and hardship and hardship, some people are still earning 20 something million naira per month for saying nay, nay, yeah, yeah, and they still make jest of the people. This nonsense has to stop. It just has to stop. If you really saved 5.4 trillion naira from removal of fuel subsidy in just 2024, how come no refinery is working? How much does it cost to build a refinery? How much does it cost to build a new refinery? I want us to always remember, especially those of you who are in positions of leadership, that someday you will account. It will have been better for you not to be in the position at all than for you to be there or to get there and not perform. Even if you are not accountable to us, because we don't have power, even though we do, but you rip us of the power, you bamboozle us, you harass us, you shout us down. So a minister recently asking a security to carry somebody to bundle somebody out. I saw another minister telling citizens, shut up. What a nation. Where we put somebody in office and he's telling his security, the security we gave to him to bundle us out.